Thank you for tuning into another episode of Rebirth Podcast. We have special guest, mental health therapist Jenn Fontal tuning in, and I got a question for y'all. You think about relationships. Should you stay if love is there but peace is not? We're going to talk about that tonight. Please make sure before you do anything else, like, share, and subscribe to Rebirth Podcast. We need your support. Tune into the show. See you soon.
Out of the ashes we will soar to a destiny we can't ignore. Heartbeats echo through the night with every dream and endless flight. Together strong, let's break the mold. Our rebirth and stories told. It's time to renew, rebuild, restore. Unlock the dreams we've been waiting for. Rise up higher, more and more. With every breath, a new dawn's roar.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Rebirth Podcast. Thought we was gonna make it tonight, did you? But it's Monday. We here to talk about a good topic, and the topic on the table tonight is gonna be: should you stay if love is there but peace is missing? And I know you're tired of seeing it in my face, right? Shay's here. Don't get it twisted.
No, she not.
She not. She here, but she got a guest over here, right? So special guest for us tonight, and she got a Yankee hat on. So go Knicks, go New York. I'm not sure if she's from New York. We're gonna talk about that too. But special guest independent Jenn Fontal. Welcome to the show. Shay, you over here?
Yes. What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Hello. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Rebirth Podcast, and welcome, Jenn Fontal.
Thank you guys for having me. Hey, Rebirth family.
So, first quick question. You got this hat on. Is that like a hat for you because you like New York, or just a hat you wore today? You a Knicks fan? That needs to be said. The Knicks just won a championship. I just want to make sure I'm not like company.
It's just for fashion.
All right. Well, bring the camera. Bring the camera back to me real quick. Quick shout out to the Knicks, 2026 NBA basketball champions. All the hate that's going on in this studio is crazy.
Congratulations to the Knicks. Absolutely.
Was you? Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
In your eyes at me.
I had to.
Like
you was
gonna fight me.
No fighting. I had so much love for Jen. When I seen that hat, I was like, yo, she understands it. She gets it. I have a New York shirt on. The Knicks won. Everything was aligning. And she's like, I just got it on for this fact.
I know it was fat.
Anyway, shout out to the Knicks for winning the championship, NBA championship, first time since 1973.
Yes, absolutely. Golly, I was 1 year old.
All right.
Jeez.
We didn't need all that. Anyway, shout out to my Knicks. Shout out to my Knicks.
Shout out to everybody. Hello, Mama G. Thank you so much for handling what you handled for me today. It was perfect.
Yeah, thank
really
you. That was
yes. You guys will see next week what we're talking about.
Crazy.
But anyway, if you have not done so, please like, share, and subscribe to tonight's podcast. So Jenn, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Jennifer Fontal. I am a licensed professional counselor in the state of Delaware and Maryland. And so throughout my time that I've been licensed, I've worked with a wide range of different populations. So I've worked with young kiddos, teens, young adults, older adults. And I've worked in a wide range of different settings. And so I have had a really colorful experience working in the mental health field, to say the least.
I love how you put that.
Colorful.
Very colorful experience. Yes. So what is your go-to population? Like, what's the population that you really like? You thrive in.
I would like to say adults. So let me kind of give a little bit of backstory.
Mm-hmm.
So initially what got me in the field was working with children, right? Or working specifically with teens. And I remember a specific day where there was a specific team that I was working with who accomplished a goal. And I remember having this really powerful feeling inside, seeing him manifest or accomplish a specific goal he had in mind. And I remember how good that felt, right? And I decided right there, I wanted to become a therapist in the parking lot. And
Mm.
so fast
Yeah.
forward to today, that's not the same reason that keeps me in this field.
Yeah.
I think what I'm beginning to realize is that how powerful therapy is, not just on an emotional level, but just like a physical, spiritual, level. Therapy isn't just fluff, and we're out here changing lives, and that is
Absolutely.
It's so impactful.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
I remember when.
I remember when.
Way back when.
Very proud of you. So yeah. So we're gonna get into tonight's topic because this is gonna be a lot of conversation. Y'all might want to get some pen and paper out. You want to take some notes.
You gonna cause me to get some text messages like, boy, he talking to.
Here you go. We're gonna change this mic setting a little bit here, so we make sure that everything can be heard here. If y'all don't mind, just bearing with us for a minute. Okay. Corey, you want to talk to the people for a minute while we get our mic together?
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about, and I think that it's an important topic for sure, right? Because I think that at any point we have all felt or asked ourselves this question, or we've been a part of the conversation where this has kind of been a question for our friends, family, and so on and so forth. So being in a relationship, the love is there. You love that person. Y'all been together for a long time, and there's just love. Y'all have long time experience, and there's equity built into the relationship. However, there's no peace.
No peace.
Hear that song? Hear that tone? Right? There's no peace. You guys are at each other's throat, at each other's neck. There's a difference of opinion. Maybe you've grown apart. It doesn't always have to be in rage or have to be in anger, but sometimes we just grow apart inside of the growth that we're doing versus the growth that this other person is doing, and we grow in two different directions, right? And when does peace become more powerful or needed than the relationship? And I think sometimes we all struggle, or we have struggled with that. And I think that's a really important question, an important topic, because people will sacrifice their peace, mental health, well-being, what God is consistently tossed in your face to tell you need to do something different.
Physical health too.
Physical health, yes, right.
Yeah.
And it's something that we definitely need to challenge ourselves and understand, like, just because peace doesn't live here anymore doesn't mean that it has to be a bad breakup, or it doesn't have to be a bad conversation. Peace matters, and that should be the important, and that should be the goal, right? Otherwise, we're gonna be sitting in front of y'all together or separate. But we definitely gonna be sitting in front of y'all.
Yeah.
But so like, what do y'all think about that? I mean, not even from a professional perspective, but like, I'm sure you've been in conversation, because females let it out. Y'all talk about it. Y'all talk about it. And I what do y'all think about that when it comes to peace over relationship? And maybe it's not peace over relationship. Maybe you want to stay in the relationship, but there's no peace. Like, what does that look like? We're butting heads, and we're just at a place where, like, look, I'm over it. And how do you bring that back together? Like, what does that look like for y'all in that conversation when y'all with your girlfriends, things you've heard, so on and so forth?
I'm gonna tie in a bit of both, personal and professional.
Okay.
So in working with individuals, I've worked with men and women, right? There are many reasons I found that people enter and remain in relationships. But the most common reasons that I hear people mention is convenience, compatibility, and sometimes an unspoken obligation. And so sometimes people are driven to stay in those relationships because of those desires, those needs, sometimes things that they're unconscious of, right? And I personally like to think of relationships like a plant, right? Think of a specific plant that has variable needs, right? That you need water, sunlight, environment, all types of things for it to survive, right? If we're only feeding it sunlight, how likely is that plant going to survive? Or thrive, I should say.
In her bag. She started using those analogies.
Look,
the plant. You in your bag. All right.
It might survive, but what is its the quality of its life, right?
Yeah.
And when you when you brought up that question, if love is there but peace is not, right? I mean, how likely is that relationship going to thrive? It may be surviving, barely on edges, right? But how likely is it to, thrive just on love?
Yeah. I think it means, how important is peace to you? And do you know what peace even is? Right? Because sometimes peace, sometimes peace looks like being in which you have seen modeled growing up. Like, this is peace. What you mean? We supposed to be like going back and forth. We supposed to have a unhealthy debate on X. We supposed to not always sleep in the same bed. Like, all of these things are sometimes normalized. So this is what peace looks like to me. Like, my parents did it. My aunt and uncle are doing it right now, right? So at the end of the day, if that's what peace looks like to you, that's what you're gonna model. And what if peace looks like something different to me? Right.
Yeah.
And then I think that is where we start to bump heads, or we start to separate in ideology, right? And I think that's where we have consistent problems, because it's like, peace looks like this to you, peace looks like this for me. And here's the thing, my peace looks different, and I'm going to choose my peace. And just because it doesn't look like yours, that doesn't mean I'm abandoning you. It just means that I'm choosing me. What do you do with that? What do you do with that?
I have a question.
You have a question?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I have a question for both of you, because
Okay.
because I think that you mentioned something about compatibility, right? So, can two people genuinely love each other and still not be right for each other?
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about love and compatibility, that is important, right? Because love is what? It's an emotion. Compatibility is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? So when those things are not aligned, is that where...
What things are you referring to?
Siri, calm down.
We got another guest.
Yes. I'm starting to feel jumped.
When those things are not aligned, is that when the peace starts to become interrupted? Because in the beginning, right, it may appear to be you're compatible, right? Because you both want it. But then when you're really start living life together, what does that look like? Any takers?
I think they say, like, love is an emotion and compatibility is structure. And just because we love each other doesn't mean we build well together. Right? And I think sometimes that's hard to deal with, even from a man, right? I think that I don't think that's talked about enough, how we deal with breakups or how we deal with failure, because we also look at it as a failure that our relationship did not work either, right? It's personal to us. It's tied to our ego. It's tied to the things that we want to see happen in our life. If God forbid we have any type of abandonment issue, mommy issues, or like, that's another failed relationship that has left, or we didn't show up well enough to, and now she's gone. Now what? Right? So I think that those things, we have to figure out what peace looks like for us individually. The best thing that you can do in a relationship, and I say this at 44, I don't know if I would have felt like this at 33 or 20, for sure. Not in my 20s. Right? But like, the best thing you can do is find peace for yourself. And if you bring nothing else to the table, this is not about money. This is not about status. This is not about friendship or resources. You bring your peace to the table, and now we can have a peaceful connection together. We can build anything when we have peace to each other. If I can't find peace in you, everything else is up for grabs, because I'm gonna go find it somewhere else. And that may not necessarily be in relationship. I may dabble into my career way more than be peaceful, because I can't find peace in my house. Right? How many people have picked up second jobs, or how many people have just dove into their career more? How many people have picked up bad habits, whether it be substance abuse, whether it just be like we talk about, again, I keep talking about this men's circle that we on, so we're gonna keep plugging it.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug, right? But like sometimes we spend hours in the gym, hours. Just don't want to go home. Just no peace there. I don't know how to talk to you about how I genuinely feel. I can't, right? Because something has sparked something. You done said something, gave me a wink or an eye, or you rolled, and I'm like, happy wife, happy life.
I think the problem is, and Jen, I'm gonna be quiet so you can talk. It goes back to how we romanticize love, but we ignore compatibility. And this is like a lifelong lesson that you're constantly learning. I believe that if the compatibility is there, the love can grow. And I think we do the opposite. Right? I think if the compatibility is there, if you are compatible with someone and it's like, this person really truly get me, that's when the love really actually starts to really come and grow and strengthen, right? But if we're focusing on romanticizing love with someone that we're not compatible with, chances are we're going to fall out of love.
What's compatibility though?
Compatibility, well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
I said earlier, it's a lifestyle.
Okay.
It's a lifestyle. What are the things that you have in common? You know what I'm saying? If you're a person that it's important for you, like maybe nature is important, or like for me, right? I like water, I like being in my backyard, I like those type of things, I like spas, I like massages, right? Then maybe having someone or being connected to someone that enjoy those same type of things, I'm compatible. We're compatible. You know what I'm saying? My lifestyle is aligned with the things that you like to do. Now everything is not going to be in sync, right? I might like the beach and hot weather, and the person that I'm with may like winter and cold weather. You know what I'm saying? So, but how do we still show up in each other's life with those differences? Well, maybe the other things that we have that are compatible can cover those areas. For sure. We have enough we have enough compatibility that's not going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What about you? What do you think?
I have many thoughts. So I wanted to kind of start back to what Corey said a little bit earlier about peace, like having differing perceptions on what peace is, right? Being in a relationship with someone who chaos feels like peace for them, and someone else feels differently. Their peace is the complete opposite, right? And so I'm a firm believer that sometimes our body has a way of recognizing when we're not in peace, even when we feel like we're acting in alignment with peace, right? And so sometimes that might mean, or might feel for some people, feeling disconnected in a relationship and not being able to put their finger on it, right? And so sometimes when I think about like having differing perceptions on what peace is, sometimes I think about how that manifests physically, emotionally, right? And so the other piece of the conversation I heard you guys bring up at the core of that is values, right? How well do our values align, right? When I think about love is a feeling. When I think about compatibility, I think compatibility is more of like a fit, right? How well do our values align with each other, right? How well, when I say relationship values, I'm speaking of things that you desire in a relationship. I'm not just talking about physical things, right? I'm talking about deeper than that, like emotional safety, trust, confidence, partnership, collaboration, family orientation, thinking about things that really matter to you when it comes to like an ideal relationship.
I think to your point that makes sense. But those are the things that expose compatibility too, right? Like, how do you deal with finances when issues happen? remember my old co-host Nelly used to say, you never know a person who they really are until they get mad. Right?
Yeah.
And when they get mad, it exposes parts of them that you may not necessarily see on the surface.
Yeah.
Right? Are you solution based? Are you just dwelling in the trauma or the drama of it all? Are you able to listen versus react?
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to take direction and say, hey, listen, we're at a moment where we're not paying attention to what we're saying anymore. Now I'm just trying to be heard. We need to come back to this conversation. And if that's not a part of your life, I'm not judging it, but that's a part of mine. And I need to be emotionally regulated, and I need to be able to do that for you as well. Because once that's what compatibility looks like for me at 44.
Mm-hmm.
Going out, makeup sex, going to the movies, going to a family barbecue, listening to the music whatever that is, that's cool. But real life starts to happen at certain ages, and every age really, but real life starts to happen in certain situations. Now we co-parenting. Now we have a blended family.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have death happens. Now the mortgages due. Now we behind on bills. Now I lost my job. How do you respond to that? That's compatibility to me. I can't really speak to. We can make all that other stuff up. Not make it up, but we can we can get to that, right? You can learn to like Drake.
You and this
What?
Drake.
Except for my mom. She was tripping.
Okay.
You can learn to love the Yankee hat.
Okay. Acquired taste.
Acquired taste.
Got you.
Right? But if we can't have relationship type resolution, and we're not partners in life. I know, Jada Pinkett Smith said this a couple years ago on Arsenio Hall. That's how long ago this was. But she said, I agree with her now or not, I agree with what she said. The thing that keeps me and Will together is not because we are in love, because love come and go.
Yeah.
But he's my best friend. That's why we're compatible, right? And I think when we're not aligned on those things, number one, that's where we have a problem. I would venture to go back deeper and say, we already knew that we weren't compatible to walk this next chapter of life together, right? And I was just having this conversation today, and I said, I'm not going to sign up for something permanent when my emotions and feelings about you are temporary. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Right? Again, bring back to the circle. There was a man that came in the circle and he said, yo, why are you here? That's kind of like the question. What made you come? And he said, I just want to be vulnerable. I want to be heard. That was the first thing out of his mouth. Right?
Yeah.
So we all like, cool. Like, this is why we're here. And he said, one of the things that's bothering me the most, the love of my life, we were supposed to get married. I called the wedding off the month before. We were supposed to go to wherever he was, destination wedding, wherever it's supposed to be. And he said, I struggle with that. I just couldn't do it. And I forget his reasoning. And I said to him, he was really struggling with it. And one of the things that I said to him, as a man or as a human being, man or woman, it's the best thing you could have ever did. Because what if you did it? And then what? And he literally sat there like he never even considered that. Right? But there was something wrong. There was something with the compatibility where she was about this and he was about that. And he was struggling with it up until that point. And he called it off. But he was so like heartbroken that he had to do that. And now she feels like she's gone forever and they may not get back together, so on and so forth. But what I am saying is that there was something that said to him, I shouldn't make this choice. And that was the best decision you could have made for yourself as a man and for her. Because if you went ahead and just tried to figure it out later, she may have never forgiven you for whatever that is. And you wouldn't have never forgiven yourself. You're already struggling now. That fact that you called it off. And I don't know why. And this is a question I really ask even of myself. right? When it comes to commitment and things like that. If I'm not 100% locked in to say I'm going to go do this forever, I can't do it. Right? Because the receipt on me moving in with you, and now I knew that we shouldn't have moved in, and now I'm in a house that don't feel like home. Yeah. Now we in 2 separate bedrooms. I'm like looking at you like, oh, did you put the bacon up? Like, whatever it is, I'm finding something, right? When something happens in life and you may choose, like, you know what, I can't really go to go see your mom because I gotta work overtime today. What? You've already shown me these type of things. So these things matter in life. And I don't know, we ignore those. We ignore them.
That was such a really powerful example. And it made me wonder, from a male's perspective, like, what are some common signs that men tend to ignore that they might not be compatible with their partner?
When you disrespect me and I ignored it. When that's your go-to, your volume is always at 10. The first disrespectful thing that came out of your mouth, whether it was to throw my trauma in my face, or whether it was to call me out my name, whether it was to do it on, you took it to my family or you took it to social media. We ignore disrespect so quick because of the allure of the woman. Her body's this. She got great sex. Oh, right?
Yeah.
She's funny. What is everybody else going to say? My kids love her. My mom loves her. We deal with disrespect in a way that is so unhealthy, and we are scared to even call it out because, are you soft? Like, what you talking about? She said, oh man, you can get past that. I can't get past it. I can't get past it. My mom don't even talk to me like that. If I'm teaching my daughter not to accept disrespect,
right,
how am I supposed to be taking it? If I'm teaching my son, and this was this like aha moment, this like personally, Courtney, right? So aha moments over the last 3 or 4 years for me. We talk about modeling our behavior for our children, and usually we rest that on the heels of the mom. What are your kids saying, and how you got men in and out, Same thing with a man. The disrespect that I tolerate is showing my son that it's okay to allow a woman to disrespect you. And how do you deal with that? Right? And even going through those particular breakups or relationship things that I've been through, I just started having those conversations with my son over the last 1.5 years. As he goes away to college, as he deals with his own relationship issues, right? And me unlocking to the door to some of the things that he's dealing with that we have no idea what they're dealing with. We have no idea what our sons are dealing with behind closed doors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that those are the things that we have to start to think about and talk about and normalize, because that's the sort of peace. That's peace. When we can emotionally regulate each other, and you can talk me down and I can talk you down, and you can walk me into a job offer or walk me out of a job offer, when you can look at Rebirth and you see season 11 before I even see it.
Okay.
Right? Or when you can look at the other side of the story, and when I get out the shower, you don't have a whole merchandise set laid out for me and said, this is what I see in you. That's compatibility to me.
Well, sometimes people look at that as if you are trying to take their identity away or change them in some ways, right? If you are able to create, so for me, it's important that I feel safe, and protected. And if I'm not feeling safe or protected, then I'm not at peace.
No.
Right? So, like you said, peace is different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think over time you learn to identify what peace looks like for you and what's important, because sometimes people don't even recognize peace. They call it boring.
Mm-hmm.
They call it too quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can't even sit still.
Yeah, for sure.
They got to keep moving. I was not talking about you, Jen. She flashed her eyes up at me. I was not talking about you.
Producer's triggered.
But
y'all.
some people
see the camera went offline.
Everything is not about whoever. Okay, so let's make that clear. But some people do have a hard time of just sitting still.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to, it's been so much traffic.
Yeah, for sure.
Going on in their lives, or they're stuck in survival mode. Mm-hmm. So no matter how much peace you bring to a person, or no matter how much you may make your environment peaceful,
mm-hmm.
if a person is stuck in survival mode, which means your nervous system is constantly like, okay, what's ready to happen next? Or I'm ready for whatever's ready to happen next.
No.
Then you can't give that peace to that person. They have to figure that out for themselves.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think sometimes that looks like as if someone's trying to change you, but it's not. Like you said, I see this in you. I want to help create and bring out whatever it is that we can bring out.
Yeah.
But maybe that person isn't ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that situation isn't ready.
Yeah, for
right?
Sure.
So how do you handle that?
I think you have the corny thing sometimes is the right thing. Or the uncomfortable thing is sometimes the right thing. And I say that to say you have to recognize that for yourself. And if you love a person, you have to recognize that for them. I can't say that, and I think I'm pretty dope, but I wasn't right for every girl that I was with. I wasn't even, I'm not ready to go where you're willing to go. I'm just not. I don't feel it. I don't see it. I don't want it right now. Right? And it's my job to tell you that. For whatever the reason is, or it's my job to have that conversation with you. Right? It's my job as a person, not leader, not black man, not dad, not husband, not boy. My job as a person that loves another person to say, oh, listen, I think that we need to have a conversation about where we are. And I'm not there. Why am I not there? I'm not there because of these reasons. I think you touched on it, Shea, when you talked about feeling emotionally safe. Men have that same need and that same ask, right? Especially if you've been through things in your past and you've arrived at a point where peace is in your life and you just, I don't even know what this feels like anymore. Like, what are we saying, right? And if we are to a point where we're not able to provide that for each other, I'm not saying I'm providing it for you and you, if I can't provide it for you, then I need to stop myself. Right? Because it's my job. My reputation at 44 is so important to me. I don't ever want you to go back and tell a story about me now that's like, yo, Corey, like the rest of, I don't want that. Yeah. If I can't provide you peace, if I'm to a place where I'm like, I'm not making you feel emotionally safe based off of my reactions to you, we're just not aligned. And here's the thing, I'm willing to roll. Or maybe we need to take space and go figure that out. But I'm telling you, this part of me ain't changing. And the reason why it's not changing, because I'm triggered by something you did and vice versa. You may look at me and be like, Corey, I know you think, you know, you get on these microphones and you talk this, but you don't make me feel like that when I get upset. I feel like I need to show up like this. And if I'm not like this and I'm outside of this thing that you have for me, you don't show up to me the right way. And here's the thing, you are totally right in saying that to me, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what compatibility looks like.
Mm.
We trying to build a life. Like, what does life look like? We ain't playing no more. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if we need to take space from each other, then we need to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I just think we just need to be real about it. And it's okay. Like, there's nothing, like, that's what grown-ups do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do.
I think this is such a beautiful and layered conversation. I think beneath everything that I hear you guys saying is that, is the version of peace that I see for myself, is that the most healthiest, right?
Yeah.
And then the other piece to that, right, is the version of the peace that I see for myself, does that align for what I want in the relationship?
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes there's a disconnect. We are drawn to chaos and call it peace, and it doesn't really align with what we really want or the values that we desire in a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Jen. I
That was
want to go.
smooth handoff. That was cool.
I want to go to some of the comments. Prince Martin says, relationships are not one-sided. I'm sorry. The relationships are not one size fit all. However, love without peace can lead to unhappiness.
Yeah.
Thank you for your comment. If you have comments and you want to tap into this conversation, please let us know what you're thinking right now.
Yeah. And sometimes, somebody said to me, relationships are mirrors. Right. And I still like trying to like figure that whole thing out. Right. But I think there's definitely truth to that. Like, sometimes relationships will expose things about you that you didn't know lived inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when those things are exposed,
Mm-hmm.
it's your job to make the best decision for your relationship. And sometimes we just don't. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because you know what that makes me think of? There is this broadcaster, Zoe Williams. He came out with this really, really great book called Relationship Paramount. And he kind of talks about how relationships are like classrooms, right? They provide you information about maybe triggers, things that are important, your values, right? Things you struggle with that you weren't aware of, your blind spots, right? And so when you say relationships are like mirrors, that resonates deeply with me, because all of these relationships we're a part of, whether it be intimate relationships or even friendships, they reflect back a lot of information to us, and sometimes we're not always aware of the information that is being given back to us.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I always say that sometimes we're so invested in learning the other person and paying attention to the other person, but we're not paying attention to how we feel connected to the person.
Mm-hmm.
What is this person bringing out in me? And right?
Yeah, true.
And so we got to recognize those things even in our friendships.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't have peace in our friendships, or people start to move differently or funny, right? We have to acknowledge that as well. But we're always focused on what's going on in our intimate relationships, and we're not even paying attention that we don't have peace in some of our friendships.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So moving the conversation a little bit forward, what unhealthy patterns do people mistake love for? What are some of the unhealthy patterns? I want to hear from y'all first, and then I'll give you a list of what I found research wise.
I think a common one is being willing to argue and fight. And when I say fight, I'm not saying physically. Well, I mean, could be physically, right? I think that I remember this time I was dating this girl.
You got a lot of, you be having a lot of stories. It's story time. That's gonna be the next segment on season 7. Story time with Corey.
You think you know, but you have no idea. Right? So I remember got into the argument, right? And it was about a birthday thing. I don't know. It was about a birthday gift. I got her this gift, and she was upset because we didn't make it to go out to eat or something like that. So I come to the house, flowers, I had this gift, I set it on the counter. She was so pissed. She didn't want to go out. I don't want you over here, so on and so forth. She's arguing. Now I'm leaving. I'm not gonna do all this arguing back and forth because anything could happen in that moment. You screaming, you yelling in my face, I'm out. I gotta walk down the hallway. She took my gift and threw it down the hallway at me.
Should have picked it up and threw it back.
Right? So she threw it down the hallway, right? And I stopped, I turned around, and something said, press the elevator. And what she said to me was, after she called me, after I got downstairs, I left. This is how I know you don't love me, because you left.
Oh, Lord.
Girlfriend. My love don't look like handcuffs.
I know that's right.
My love don't look like somebody calling the cops, your neighbors. My love don't look like we arguing back and forth, because that's what your last boyfriend did. And you felt like because he argued and stayed and screamed and yelled and fought and all of that, that's love.
Yeah.
That's what you watch your mom and daddy do.
Yeah.
What I do know is I would be a punk. I would be soft, but I'm going to be that in my house. I'm going to be that in the mall. And when I look at my record, I don't have one.
Right.
Ain't nobody calling the cops on me.
Right.
You ain't never going to have that story to tell about me. Right? Now I can get something said, but I'm going to say it in the car. Right? Because what you've already shown me that you're willing to take it to another level. Yelling at me wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Now you want to throw something at me.
Yeah.
Right? So I that is a common mistake that people make all the time.
Absolutely.
Yelling and staying, that means you love me. If you arguing, he would never leave. We need to take space, baby girl, because you've already shown me that you're willing to escalate it past the point. You're so pissed off, nothing's getting said. So I think that's one for me.
For you. What about for you?
For me, I would definitely say I've noticed often there's this constant desire to be connected all throughout the day. And
not through all out the day.
Yes, all throughout the day. And I've noticed just personally and professionally, people often take it personally when you're not able to call them right away or text them back instantly. It's this desire to just remain in tune. Yes, absolutely, especially in the dating market. but I often hear the feedback sometimes that you're a bad communicator because you don't respond quickly. I didn't hear I've often heard that people equate just being on the phone, talking, just all throughout the day. It's like, okay, this person really loves me. Really, I haven't heard from him, 3 times this day. So he must not really like me as much as I like him. And so that for me is like a common thing that I hear often.
That's very good. And that was one of the things that was on the list. So it was constant chaos, mistaken for passion, emotional dependency, mistaken for connection, fixing someone, mistaking for loving them, and trauma bonds, mistaking for soulmates. So that is some of the things that what unhealthy patterns do people mistake love for. So I have another question. How do you guys think childhood experiences influence adult relationships?
Kick that over to Jen first, but I
Okay.
I would venture to say.
Wait a minute. You kicking it to Jen or you taking it back? What we doing?
You right. You right. You're right. That's compatibility. Go ahead. You right.
Come on, compatible co-host.
You right.
Wait, can you repeat the question again?
How does childhood experience influence adult relationships?
Again, a very layered and nuanced conversation. And so
Deep.
Yeah, very deep. So when I think about that question, I think about, all the foundational relationships in our childhood, not just the ones with our parent guardians. I'm talking about, family members that are a part of, our upbringing. I'm talking about cousins, family and other friends, right? And so the biggest word that comes out to me when you ask that question is attachment styles, right? It's how we show up in our relationships. And again, when I talk about relationships, I'm not just talking about intimate relationships. I'm also talking about, platonic, our friendships, right? And much of our upbringing influences how we see the world, right? It also influences the stories that we tell ourselves about, our relationships, friendships, dating, right? Sometimes some of the stories that I often hear, or the narrative that I hear about the dating, men ain't shit, there's piss in the dating pool. Some of that is regurgitated from experiences they've had in their upbringing, and also from other family members who've kind of rehearsed or conditioned, them to have that belief, right? It's a shared belief amongst the family. So childhood impacts the way we see the world, the way we show up in relationships, the trust we have in others, right? The belief that we have in ourselves, right? And how we show up in relationships.
Yeah. Ditto. Right. Yeah, I would agree. I think that we learn so many unhealthy habits directly or indirectly, just observing and watching, right? Conflict resolution, not a common thing in just our lives. What does healthy conflict look like? What does conflict resolution really look like? Have we seen it play out? Have we been talked to about what that looks like? If you haven't seen it, you're not going to do it well. Your circle, who you're commonly talking to every day, your circle of influence will challenge that as well. If your homeboy is on some, I'm icing her out, I'm gonna ignore her, I'm gonna block her, that's what you're gonna do as well, right? If you feel like you don't have to respond to your girl eventually, that's a form of abuse, bro. Like you can't just ice her because you feel like you don't want to talk about it. I need time, I'll come back to the conversation, whether there's a date, a time, whatever, right? But it's also tied to if you were abandoned as a child, if people did that to you when you were a kid, right? Were you taught that leaving without resolving issues is a common thing, right? Yelling and saying what you need to say and getting it off your chest. Don't ever let her talk to you like you are the man that makes all the decisions in this household. Excuse me? Right? So I think all of those things are needed. And they can cause unhealthy bonds. It really is. And I don't think that's something that we really think about. We don't really think about the person that you gave your number to because she looked like this and he looked like this, if he's connected to a mental health episode that is on the side of you not responding, right? Or the fact that he doesn't do well with you being disrespectful. You ain't really asked for his record. You don't know how he gonna respond when you saying something crazy in his face. You don't know how his dad treats his mom, right? Yeah. Those things are just things that we just don't really think about because I think to your point, you made a good point earlier, is like love is the thing that compatibility is not. Yeah. Right? We romanticize love and what it's supposed to look like and it's supposed to feel like and things like that. So yeah, I think it definitely plays a role. And has your immediate circle, family, friends matured to the level that they need to be? They say, everybody that was a disciple to Jesus wasn't the greatest people, right? They were
He was betrayed
murderers,
by
right? Murderers,
and he was betrayed by
right,
one of
100%.
his exactly.
But they had to grow to continue to be with him. Sometimes you outgrow your circle,
Absolutely.
right? Now, whether you feel like you need to address that before you say I'm going to get a size 12 because this 11 and a half don't fit no more, whether you need to go have that conversation, I probably will. Because I think that's the healthy side of resolute, but that, I'm a closure person, like this is me. But those things are so necessary and so important, and I think that we just don't give it the attention that it needs. It's just not a common thing. And also being able to check your ego and listen. My biggest teachers are women that I've dated. My biggest teachers. They will teach you. They taught me so much. Even in the things that I just like, nah, I don't believe that. Eventually, the lesson came back and said,
Yeah.
aha. You know what I'm saying? And then, your partner will teach you a little bit about yourself, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it means like stay or you need to,
Right.
you know
Absolutely.
what I mean? It doesn't mean that.
Absolutely. So I have a question. What's one red that you could think of really quick?
Not a red flag.
Why not without a story time?
Triggered me,
I'm
y'all.
just joking. What's one red flag that you feel you may have ignored in a relationship that with someone that you loved? Look, I'm gonna give it to you first. One you wanna okay, Corey, the thinker. One red flag that you can say you may have ignored with someone that you loved.
Dang.
Or because you were in love, I should say. Okay. Because you were in love, what is one red flag that you ignored?
Poor communication.
Poor communication. Okay. That's a good one. And an important one.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would say in their intentions, that we both had different intentions. I think I was at the time, I wasn't Liz. I sure enough do. Okay.
Yeah.
I really do.
Story time.
I really do. But they not G rated. But I will definitely say intentions. In hindsight, I realized that, the person that I was dating at the time had completely different intentions than I did. And it took a couple hard lessons. Those lessons kept repeating, just a few, to realize that we weren't on the same page.
Okay. That's good. So communication, intentions, and I'm going to say for me, it's not even with the person. I would say the red flag that I ignored was not paying attention to my nervous system and how the person, how my nervous system responded to the person. Right. So in past relationships, what I've learned and what I'm learning is your nervous system determines what that fit is. Just listen to your body, listen to your nervous system. If it feels off, if your stomach is feeling a little, you're feeling a little anxious, a little unease, and we ignore that a lot. We ignore it a lot, but your nervous system is constantly telling you all the time. It's constantly speaking to you, So I would say for me, for past, rather any type of relationship, platonic or, whatever, it's not listening to my nervous system. Yeah.
I would venture, I think you kind of tossed that question about like how men, I think we ignore it for ourselves too.
Yeah.
Right. They say that men, like you just know when she's this or, but we also know when something ain't right,
Mm-hmm.
then we will definitely ignore it.
Yeah.
Right? And again, I think that is just so important in how we govern ourselves. And I keep seeing, like, the best gift that you can give somebody is you getting yourself together. So when you come to, this new thing is like what you bring to the table. I hope you bring peace.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you bring peace.
Yeah.
I hope you bring resolution, conflict resolution. I hope you're able to regulate my nervous system. One of the things that I appreciate about my daughter's relationship with her boyfriend is that he doesn't, when she goes high, he levels her out.
Yeah.
Shay,
That's so important.
I need you to think about X. And I appreciate that about him.
Very important.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Look at Lori. Lori says your body holds the score.
That's a book, honey. Yes. Thank you for saying that. Shout out to you, Lori.
I was trying to think about what it was.
It's a book.
It's a book.
Yeah. If you have not read that book, I would suggest get it, because your body keeps the score.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely do. Definitely do.
Is that the central nervous system thing that y'all talking about? Or the not central nervous, the nervous system? I said central nervous system.
I also want to kind of highlight too
Don't
how
do that. It was a system.
I mean, it was some type of system.
It was a system.
But I also want to highlight how common it is, that we are disconnected from our bodies and our minds, right? I mean, we live in a society where, like, all of those things within our body are treated separately. Yeah. And so sometimes we don't recognize those internal signals when something feels off, and we can't pinpoint why or where exactly. So sometimes, the natural result of that is maybe ignoring those signs of a relationship, right? We know something feels off, but we can't really pinpoint it. So I bring that up to say that it's actually pretty common.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Guys, if you have any questions, okay, yes, it is. Your body will warn you in a plethora of ways. Lord, I said plethora. Lori, I don't have my glasses on. Of ways we ignore our body and end up all tore up. Absolutely. Because things come out somatic, right?
Yeah.
Headaches, backaches, all of those things, that is coming from stress. Stress is coming from not having peace. So do the math.
Yeah.
Right? The more you're able to center yourself. This is why it's important to do mindfulness, meditation, yoga, stretch, whatever it is, workout, talk, therapy, whatever it is that you need to do. Because I do believe that you are responsible for your own peace. And you can love someone without self-abandoning yourself. And I think that's the problem. We tend to, again, we romanticize love so much that we ignore everything else. And then a lot of us are now self-abandoning our own selves out of compassion, right? So back in, when did I do that women's retreat? May. Back in May, I did a women's retreat down in Outer Banks. Thanks, Corey.
She'd be all over the place.
My goodness. And as I was teaching the group of wonderful women, one of the questions I asked them, I said, if the person next to you walk outside right now and happen to fall in a manhole, and you're walking with them and you see that they fell into this deep manhole, what are you going to do? What would you do? I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking?
Yeah. What would you do?
Out.
Okay, you're going to try to get him out. What would you do?
Help! I'm going to try to get him out and call for help.
Okay. What would you do first?
Call for help, honestly.
Okay. So you'll try to get him out and you'll call for help first, right? So the thing is, most people said, I'm going to try to get them out. And that is what we do when we're in love or when we love someone. We try to save them. We try to get them out. So if you're trying if I'm trying to pull you out of this manhole, chances are you're going to pull me down there with you. And now we're both in the manhole, stuck. Right? That manhole is trauma.
Yeah.
That manhole is grief. That manhole is depression. That manhole is anxiety. It's whatever that's going on in that person's world that you're trying to save them from, and you're getting pulled down there with them because we romanticize love so much that we don't recognize when we're sacrificing our own self. So the thing that we are supposed to do is, hold on, I see you, I love you, I'm going to stay right here with you, but I'm going to call for help. I'm going to call for help. I'm going to get a rope.
Y'all got me on the therapist thing. That was crazy. That was crazy. Y'all set me up.
I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to call for help, because do I love you any less than because I didn't reach my hand down there for you to pull me down with you? Versus me calling 911 and say we need help, right? But most of the time what we do is we get right down in the hole with them, right? And this is when things start to really crumble and break, because neither one of us can get up. Neither one of us could, because if you pull me up or put me on your shoulder to climb up, you still down in the hole, right? So you know that is like the best visualization that I can give, and I'm guilty of that as well, right? Because when you are a person that you truly do love, and we're in this field, right? So we're constantly wanting to help, and we got to be careful, because a lot of times we get pulled down in the holes just from sessions that we have with people, because we have compassion and we do care about our clients, right? So if you can get pulled down in a hole with the client or someone that you're helping, you can get pulled down by your spouse, by your family member, by your children, by your friends, right? So it's just something to think about. Lori says, yes. Oh, okay. Did I read it twice?
Yeah, you read that one.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right. I think, Lori, I was waiting for you to say something else.
No, when you say that, right, that was a great metaphor, right? I mean, when you try to save people, right, you potentially introduce unhealthy dynamics, codependency, enmeshment, right? And that specific metaphor made me think of this movie. I can't think of the name, but it's like a modern day Bonnie and Clyde. It was like a black couple. They robbed a bank. They went on a run together.
I know you're talking about.
There was a part in the movie that resonated with me deeply.
I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of the name. Help me out in the comments if you remember. But she said in the movie, like, I don't need you to heal my wounds or to nurture it. I just want you to stay with me while I nurture myself.
Yes.
And that for me was very pivotal, because it describes the kind of relationship I desire, not in just intimate, but just just relationships in general. I don't need you to heal me. I don't need you to save me, fix me, but I want you to stay with me while I get myself together.
That's good.
I got a question. Can I ask a question?
Of course. No, you cannot.
So I think you touched on a good point. That was good. That analogy, the therapist thing. You call for help. I'm helping. I should have said I'm a call. But anyway, y'all got me. I think I need some healing. But anyway, I think you make a good point. Like she said, I want you to just be with me. But is there a point? And I'm genuinely asking: is there a point where even that's unhealthy?
Yes. Yes.
Right? Like, you want me to stay here.
That was my next question.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
You want me to stay here while you heal, which I think there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because I have a vested interest in you healing. I love you, care about you, and we're building this life, whatever that is. But are you obligated? What is your obligation point, expiration point, to say, you know what? I've been here. I gotta go. And for men and women, I think sometimes men unhealthily put that burden on women. Like, you know.
So repeat your question one more time, so the audience is clear what you're asking.
So my question is, you talked about she wanted him to just stay, or her, whoever it was, to just stay while they went through their healing journey, are you obligated to do so? And is there a point where that's too much?
So, Queen and Slim. Thanks, Simone. I'm sorry, y'all. Queen and Slim was the movie that she was referring to. So I'm gonna answer this in two ways. Whew. It might be more than 2 ways. I think this is it's circumstantial, right? I think there's an answer for someone that's you're just dating, and then there's an answer for someone that is in a marriage.
Okay.
All right. If you are just dating someone and getting to know someone, that is what you're doing. You're learning them. You're learning the good. You're learning the unhealed. And you have an option to decide if you want to continue with being with this person or not. You don't have to. The moment you decide that you are going to stay, again, if you're not married to this person, then you still have the option to say, maybe this is a little bit too much. Maybe I'm too far in.
Okay.
Once you made the commitment to be married to someone and they're going through a healing journey, there is an obligation because there's an obligation to the marriage.
Okay.
But what happens is if the person, because some people don't feel that they need to heal.
Okay.
Some people don't feel that they need to heal, or some people are not an active participant in their healing.
Yeah, for sure.
So when it comes to the point where there's the participation is not there or stopped, and the person that you are in that relationship with is now carrying the weight of that, or the person is checked out, I'm not saying that's a thing to say you just get up and go, but at some point, again, it goes back to putting that oxygen mask on yourself.
Yeah.
Because if I'm getting depleted, because you're depleted, and you're not taking or trying to work on yourself and do the things that you need to do to move you out of this, then we're both we're in that hole.
For sure. Yeah,
we're both in that hole, right?
Yeah.
So I think it really depends. It depends on what type of relationship that we're talking about. Of course, you just don't walk out on a marriage, or you just leave a marriage because somebody's going through a healing process, right? But it's really what is going on in that process.
Sure.
Right. What is happening, or are we just sitting there and hoping that things one day will just get better? Right? We always hear time makes things better, but it's what you do with that time that make things better. Right? Or heal. Right?
Or pray it away. We just gonna take it to the Lord in prayer.
I was gonna say that was well said. I mean, I have nothing to add to that.
Yeah, she took it home with that one.
That
was fire.
Yeah.
I had a follow-up question.
Go ahead.
So from the therapist's Yankee hats.
So here he go. Well, he ain't talking to me because you got the Yankee hat on.
For both of y'all. To your point, I think you make a good point. Dating, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever that is, marriage, cool. But even in those circumstances, what are the flags? I won't call them red or green or whatever. That's enough's enough.
I think
because we're dedicated to the marriage, and Aunt June and Uncle Anthony been sleeping in separate bedrooms for 15 years.
So wait, hold on now, because hold on, because that's kind of the thing, the way people are going these days. You have a lot of people are now talking about being married and living in separate homes to keep the marriage fresh. or being in separate bedrooms to keep the marriage fresh. Because, and I'm not, I mean, it's however you want to do it,
Sure.
right? Because some people do sleep separately because snoring, right? Or maybe they have, one person has to get up early and the other person may work overnight or whatever. So, sometimes that is a situation. That doesn't necessarily mean that the marriage is,
I'm a great snorer. So
and you're a great snorer. Okay.
great.
But what was your question? I'm sorry.
At what point do you feel like enough's enough? So I agree.
Mhm.
There potentially is an obligation to the marriage, right? But I do also believe that, to your point too, like when you're not participating in your own healing, or
Mhm.
things continue to happen over and over and
Mhm.
over and over
Mhm.
again. Now I'm depleted.
Yeah.
Now I have a disease.
Mhm.
Now my health is declining because I'm carrying this weight. And this is common for you. Your body's almost used to it, right? At what point do you say, you know what? I need to make a decision for myself to do
Yeah.
something different, regardless of marriage, regardless of status, regardless of what have
Yeah.
you. Because sometimes people get caught inside of those obligations. You're not obligated to deplete yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that
Mhm.
there has to be a place where we can listen to the other person say, like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Mhm.
I don't want to quit, but I feel like I have to. And maybe
Yeah.
it's not quitting, like whatever. And I'm just asking
It's
because,
just
like,
choosing yourself.
it's choosing yourself. And
Yeah.
sometimes that
It's
feels
choosing
like you're
yourself.
abandoning me, or
Yeah.
she needs to choose herself. In her, men will carry that. Oh, you like everybody. No,
Yeah.
you toxic, bro. Like, you ain't
Yeah.
doing what you need to do, right? So, like, I'm just trying to act. At what point I'm sure that comes up in y'all sessions, but like, at what point do you do that? What is the flag to say?
It goes right back to the title of the show. When when you've lost your peace.
Okay.
When you've lost your peace, and you can't find, sometimes, like, some people, home is their peace.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't even find peace in the place that you call home, or the things that you used to find peace in, you're not showing up for yourself. You're not showing up for, like, that you can show up.
Yeah.
Then it's time to make some changes.
Yeah.
And again, it depends on what type of relationship you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you can still choose yourself with being in a marriage.
Yeah.
And that would probably look like you have to focus on you, and not try to fix your partner. Let your partner try to work on himself. Right? Choosing yourself in a marriage doesn't always mean that the marriage has to end.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But then sometimes when there's lack of compatibility, what we were talking about earlier, love is not enough to keep something going. It's just not, because I may love you one day and I'm like, whatever the next day, right? I gotta know that, you know what, you get on my nerves right now, but there's enough compatibility that I know when I wake up tomorrow, I still choose you. You know what I'm saying? But in some cases that doesn't happen, and people decide they want to go ahead and they need to exit.
Sure.
And that's perfectly fine. If you need to exit any relationship, then that was the choice. You chose yourself, and that's perfectly fine. But you got to stand in that. You got to be okay with your choice. Did you want to?
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap up.
I have a few things to add.
Okay.
So
Not a few.
a few things.
a few.
So just in my experience in working with individuals, again, with both men and women, therapists hat on, I would definitely say before I kind of preface this, there was a comment that said earlier, right, that relationships aren't a manual, right? So this isn't a blanket statement, right? But just characteristics and things that I've noticed. Domestic violence, for sure, out of there immediately, okay? And some other things that I noticed when maybe telltale signs that maybe it's time to exit the relationship, right? Is a history of not changed behavior, whatever that changed behavior might be, right? Also being mindful what Shea said of like your nervous system, right? Noticing if that's in constant disarray and feeling like an internal chaos when you're around said person, right? noticing, so I said nervous system, domestic violence, how often you guys have conflict, right? Is that becoming a more consistent, frequent thing, right? How is communication? Is the conflict impacting the ability to communicate and have simple conversations, such as what are we going to eat tonight, or what time are you going to bed? And so, being mindful of those things, right? Because sometimes the small things can grow into big things. So I would say those are a couple of things that I noticed.
Absolutely. Very good. Very good. And you said domestic violence. I want to add to that verbal abuse, emotional abuse, because sometimes we just look at the physical and, to your point, you said earlier, not responding, shut it down, not want to talk. That's emotional abuse. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people say, well, I just don't say nothing. I just shut down. Well, not having conversation, not communicating, not acknowledging that it is a problem, that can lead to, a big red flag in a relationship, as well. So, all right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. And if you have any comments or questions that you still would like to put in the chat, you still have some time, as we are going to go to our closing statement. And just keep in mind too, guys, I want to point out that October 17th is Rebirth Live. Okay. And tickets will be going on sale July 15th. We only have one more episode of Rebirth Podcast, which will be airing on Father's Day. We're going to be wrapping up the season until our return will be sometime in August. I don't have a date yet, but we'll be returning for season 7, which will be getting ready to kick off Rebirth Live. So real quick, a lot of people have been reaching out about being a vendor. And then we have people that want to partner with us. If you would like to partner with us for the Rebirth Live, we're going to put the information up. These are our packages. You can go to rebirthu.com and go ahead on and pick out what package you would like to sponsor. We would greatly appreciate it. Everything that we do for Rebirth Live comes out of our own pockets. We do, and we sell out every year, but the venue, the food, the things that we have there, we do ourselves. So we're giving back to the community. We're in the community. We're our platform is mental health, relationships, normalizing these conversations within the Black, brown, and community. If this is something you want to be involved in and you just want to support and you want to show up and you like what we're doing, then by all means, please go to Rebirth U and be a partner with us. Partner with us. The packages are amazing, especially if you're a small business. Shouting out to all my lovely friends that are in the mental health field or have their own mental health practices. This is a perfect time to advertise and get your business on the platform where people can see. So we will appreciate that. Now back to our closing remarks. So Corey,
Yes.
I'm going to wait to the end. Do you have any closing comments? Or
Yeah, I think that I would just say, man, like, again, like I said earlier, the best thing you can do and bring to the table is your peace and making sure that you have a very healthy self-awareness about yourself. Seek help if you need it, right? And it's okay to choose peace. And sometimes peace doesn't necessarily mean together. Sometimes your peace is separate so you can come back together. And I think sometimes it doesn't always mean that it's forever. And sometimes we put finalizations on things.
That's true.
And it doesn't have to be that way. Your best project that you could ever be a part of is yourself. Your best project.
Look at you. Look at you.
Right? And I say that because that's something that is my whole 2026 goal, right? Like it's something that I'm serious about. It's something that is needed. It's personal accountability, and it's not easy. It's not easy not choosing someone else. It's not, like I said, my first thing I'm gonna do is help, right? Like, because that's what I would want. I would want you to be like, yo, come, right? But at the end of the day, sometimes that means you need to call for help and assistance and not carry that burden. So,
Yeah.
figure out what that is for you. Stop looking out the sides of your peripheral vision. Sometimes it's right in front of your face. It's not about what everybody else is doing. Social media says, your girlfriend says, your mom says. Your health, your mental health, your peace is a personal choice and a personal decision. And if you don't treat it as such, it's a problem.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Jen, any final words?
I do. So I wanted to kind of plug in a few different resources because we've talked about some really important conversations around building self-awareness, what peace looks like, healthy peace, learning how to differentiate between, building your sense of self while not abandoning yourself and still believing in love. And so the Gottman Institute is an organization that offers a lot of information and blogs and resources about cultivating a healthy sense of self, relationships, platonic, intimate, family, and it's Gottman, Gottman Institute. They do a lot of couples work, have a lot of information on couples work. And then there is another therapist by the name of Nedra Glover Tawwab. She has a lot of books surrounding boundaries, surrounding navigating independence, codependence, enmeshment, like all the things.
You have to spell her name.
Look, Nedra Glover TAW.
The fact that you know how to spell this name is
Yes,
crazy.
I love her work.
You know that? Yeah, please.
Yes, it's Nedra, Nedra Glover, Glover, Tawwab, Tawab.
You got straight A's.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she has quite a few books on boundaries, enmeshment, codependence, how to kind of develop independence while also still cultivating a space for love. Like, her books are fabulous. And so it might be a great resource to be able to, get more curious about, yourself, whether you're navigating a friendship conflict or kind of navigating the dating space, or you're in an intimate relationship that doesn't feel like peace. So
very good. Thank you, resources. Jen, it's always a pleasure having you on. This is my little sis right here. Always a pleasure. Thank you for sharing space with us and always bringing a word. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Knowledge, information, resources, all of that. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Guys, make sure you tune in next week. We have our Father's Day show, which will be airing on Father's Day. And that will be our last episode. So we will not have a show on next Monday. It will be on Father's Day next Sunday. Okay. So make sure you tune in, and we'll be closing out season 6. I'm so grateful to God, to my team, to everybody that has graced the Rebirth podcast, rather they were here in person or we streamed them in. Thank you so much to everybody that tunes in every Monday night to support us, the people that believed in us, and even to the haters, the people that want to talk about us. Thank you for that as well, because it only make us stronger. And it only grow, because sometimes haters can be in your circle
don't tell
and
me
you don't realize it. You know what I'm saying?
Forgive.
You don't realize it. You don't realize it.
Forgiveness is
So you got to thank them too, right? Because they just make you stronger. So with that being said, I'm going to end tonight's show. Love should feel like a safe place, not a battlefield. While every relationship requires effort, compromise, and growth, no one should have to sacrifice their peace, identity, or emotional well-being. just to keep love alive. The real question isn't whether love exists, it's whether that love allows you to thrive. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, have a blessed rest of your week. Good night. We'll see you next Sunday.
Next.
Yeah.